Hello, everybody. This is an example of creating a small sample website. Later, we'll see examples of making more complex websites. Why make a website like this? Because we're going to use it as an online portfolio for projects. So the steps that we're going to create today are the following. First, we're going to create the website. We'll add some text to the main page. Then we will use ChatGPT to generate some code in a language called JavaScript. And this is a language that can be run within a web page. And then we're going to take that code from ChatGPT and we're going to go and we're going to embed it into the web page, publish the web page, look at it at the web page, and run it and try it. So now we're going to look at some more details on these steps. So first of all, we're going to create the website, point our browser to sites.google.com. We're going to choose the plus sign to start a new site, add a title, and add a name to it. So let's look at those. First of all, we're going to go to sites.google.com. So open up a new tab in my browser and go to sites.google.com. And here we are. And you may not have anything down below here. I have a bunch of other sites that I'd made previously. So we want to create a new site. So that's this plus button near the upper left. So start a new site. And so now here is what the default of what it would look like. You can customize things like change the image background up here. But for now, we're just going to change the page title to be something like your name, Dale Reed. And this will be CS 294 for this course. And I want this to be on the next line. So I'm going to go click there and do Shift Return to move it down. And we want to name this site something. So we'll name it CS 294 portfolio. How about that? And press enter. And then we see the name gets echoed right down here. So that's the header. Now we want to put some content down here into the site. So let's go back to our instructions and see how we're doing. So we pointed our browser to the site. We chose the plus sign. We added the title, Dale Reed. We changed the name of the site. Okay, so now we want to add some text to the main page. So we're going to drag a text box component into the main part of the page. And let's go look at that next. So we go back to the tab with the website editing up here. And over here are all the components of things that we can add in. Here you could use this for creating new pages. We're not going to do that right now. Create some general themes for the website. We're not going to do that right now. You can drag in some text or images or a Google Drive document as well. So we're going to choose this text box right now. So when you click on it, I'm going to click on text box, then some options appear down here. So now I can type in. So I'll just say display some text below. All right. And if I wanted to, I could change the size of this. I could make it larger, but I actually have to select the text, and then I could make this larger like that, change the font, color, different things. Okay, let's go take a look how we're doing. So we added some text to the main page. Good. Or instead of display a message, display some text. That's what we put in there. Okay. Next, we want to generate some code. Now, if you had a friend who's an expert programmer, they could write this for you, but we're going to use ChatGPT to do this. It's very good at doing it. You mostly don't have to know anything about programming. You just have to have a very specific idea of what you want. That's the trick. So we're going to ask ChatGPT to do this. Generate standalone JavaScript to display a button, and when the button is clicked, display hello. So I'm going to copy this. And I previously had logged into ChatGPT. I'm ready to go up here. So here's ChatGPT. And I'm going to just paste that in there, or could type it in. Press return. Here we go. Now, something that I've learned is that if I think I'm done and I copy it and go on my merry way, but if it hasn't actually gotten all the way to the bottom down here, then it looks like it works, but it actually doesn't. So it's important to make sure it finishes all the way. So this thing that's a /HTML at the bottom, that indicates we're done with it. So now I'm going to copy the code. So I've copied everything in here. I could also just click and drag to copy it. And it's helpful to know the keyboard shortcuts. On a Mac, it's Command-C to copy and Command-V to paste. On a PC, I think it's Control-C and Control-V are the keyboard shortcuts. but here you can just copy the code there. And now we are going to go back over into our portfolio and put this in there. So our instructions specify copy the code and embed it into the web page. So it's kind of general. So here we go. So here's the embed. So I'm going to click on embed. And I need to go over to this option that says embed code, which is the code that I just created. And now I'm going to paste it in here using the keyboard shortcuts. In my case on a Mac, it's Command V. All right. And I'm going to insert it. And so it put it into the component. I want to put that component into the web page. So there it is. It's there, but I'm still in the editor. So now I have to publish it and say, put it out there on the web so that other people could look at it. Here's a web address for it. So I'm publishing it. It's out there. But even now I'm still in the editor. I have to say, well, now show me what it would look like if I were to run it from somewhere else. So up by the publish button to the right, there's this pull down arrow and it says view published site. So that's what we want to click. View published site opens up a new tab. And now this, you could send it to a friend or somebody else, right? That's the address online. And at that address now, this code is running. So display some text below that we put that in there. And then click me, here's this button. So remember what we asked it to do? It's supposed to display hello. So let's click on click me and it displays hello. So exciting. You can update your resume, expert programmer. Well, not expert, but programmer. Well, can use generative AI to write programs. How about that? So we're done basically with this. Now, if you want to play, you could go back into ChatGPT and you could get it to do other things. So you can go to your previous prompt, and I'm going to edit this prompt, and create standalone JavaScript. So you always want to have that part. But to display a button, I'll leave that. And when the button is clicked, instead of displaying hello world, how about if I said display a random dad joke? How about that? Okay, so it's going off. Remember, we have to wait until it's all generated before we try and copy and paste it into the other spot. So here it's still thinking, right? So if I'm scrolling down, it's still thinking. But if I'm up here, I think it's done. It's not done yet. I got to wait. Is it all done? Let's see. Let's see if it's completely done. I think it is now done. Okay, so let's copy the code. Copied. Let's go back into the editor here. This is the component that we previously put in there. Instead of embedding a new version, I could click on the old one. And in the old one, I could click on the pencil to edit it. And then here's that code from last time. And I'm going to choose all of this stuff and delete it. And now I'm going to paste the new stuff in there. And let's see if this works. Huh, that looks kind of funky. Let's see if it works. Publish. Publish. Doesn't look like it's going to work. View publish site. Nope. Look at that. It's all messed up. And this is a great example because it shows us that it's not, in fact, magic. Lots of things can go wrong. If I'm going to come back here, generate standalone JavaScript to display a button. And when the button is clicked, display a random dad joke. You know what? I'm just going to try it again. Let's just try send it again. I changed one thing, so it thinks it's a different version. Yeah, so now it has the HTML tags. The interesting thing about generative AI, it doesn't always do the same thing when you ask the same question. So now let me get this again, copy the code, and go in here, click on the container again, edit it, get rid of all this stuff, Control A, paste in the new version. See, this now ends with the HTML, so I have more confidence that this one will be good. Save it. Publish it. Comparing to the old version. And view the published site. Click on tell me a dad joke, and here we go. So lesson here, it doesn't always do the right thing. If you fiddle with it, sometimes it will. And you can experiment, and you're not going to break it. So have fun.